We all know that home inspections are an integral part of every home purchase, and I think that every buyer should be conducting one. And you would think that that's the case. However, a lot of buyers are choosing to forego the step. This could be a huge mistake. Let's talk about why you need to be doing a home inspection. Ready, set, go. What's going on, everybody? Steven from the Vargas team here, and welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to elevate your real estate knowledge by learning tips, strategies, and other real estate related information, start now by subscribing and clicking that bell icon to stay up to date with my weekly real estate videos. Okay, so we all know that home inspections are there to protect you as a buyer from making a purchase that could in turn end up costing you a lot of money and being a money pit in reality. But yet, so many buyers decide not to hire an inspector, which made me question why this is happening. Considering the fact that inspections act as a safety net, if you will, it just didn't make much sense to me. Well, it turns out that there are many reasons as to why some buyers are choosing not to do home inspections. And unfortunately, the majority of these reasons are due to a misunderstanding of how the home buying process works. I detail that process in a separate video. I will link that video somewhere up here, and you can check that out as well for more information. But let me give you an example as to what I mean. As is, contracts are becoming more prevalent, meaning you're buying the property as is. Now, it is true that most sellers are not going to do any work to the property that may be required, seeing that the property again is sold as is. But just because the seller is not going to remedy any issues, this alone is not reason enough to forego a home inspection. For one, home inspections are there for you as a buyer and not the seller. The basis of doing home inspection is to see whether or not you're willing to accept the property in its current as is condition. Yet, how do you know what that condition is without doing a home inspection? All homes, no matter if they're brand new or not, will have their share of issues. The goal of home inspections is a way to manage the risk and see if those issues are something that you as a buyer can live with, but also it details what needs to be fixed, the life expectancy, and the estimated cost of those repairs and replacements. Take it from someone like me. I've been part of hundreds of home inspections, and I can tell you, don't judge a book by its cover. Boy, is that saying more relevant than it's ever been in real estate. What I mean by that is just because it looks good and upkept on the outside doesn't mean that it's not going to be exhibiting major problems on the inside. And vice versa, just because a property is a bit of an eyesore doesn't mean that those high ticket items are going to be in bad shape. You may be surprised. But what I'm getting at is that there's no way of knowing for sure, which is all the more reason as to why you should hire a licensed home inspector, as they're trained to spot things and search for things that you and I are simply not going to be able to pick up. The list of home items and things to inspect at a home are endless, but there are a few high ticket items that I want to highlight for you to keep in mind during your next home inspection. These items are going to be the roof, both the age and the condition, the electrical. We're trying to look out for the type of wiring that it's exhibiting. For example, cloth wiring is a huge fire hazard, so try to avoid that at all costs. The foundation, by checking if any cracks or any structure is being affected. Plumbing is another huge high ticket item because cast iron and galvanized pipes are very common in a lot of older style homes. And these are red flags because these types of pipes can burst unexpectedly, and you can just imagine how much damage that's going to cost, tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. So check with your inspector because we're trying to look for PVC piping, which would be ideal. And lastly, AC and appliances are just some of the last high ticket items you want to consider. But of course, the inspector is going to do a huge report on everything. But these are just some of the items you want to pay attention to if you yourself are going to be doing a home inspection. Having the ability to cancel the contract should be reason enough to conduct a home inspection. However, I would venture out to say that it would save you even more money. And I'm not just talking about the indirect money you'll be saving knowing what you're getting yourself into or what you're getting yourself out of, for example. I'm talking about the possibility of the seller fixing or crediting those items that you discover. Now, I know that we're dealing with as-is contracts, but many times these big ticket items are going to be news to the seller, and the seller priced his or her home based on certain assumptions. And it's safe to assume that they likely priced it without taking into account the amount of money that it's going to take to repair or replace these items that were uncovered. What I'm getting at is even though it's an as-is contract, you still may have a chance to present your findings to the seller and see if they're willing to work with you. It may turn out that you're going to reach some sort of agreement that benefits both parties. You lose nothing by putting the ball in their court and seeing what they say. Now, if you're thinking about home inspections, then that likely means you're shopping for real estate. And if you're shopping for real estate, then you need to work with the right real estate agent. So click on this video here that I made about how to find the right real estate agent to work with. And don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel by clicking on my face icon, which is going to appear somewhere here right about now.